Doug was like a radical gay grandpa for me. He was the person who would come see you, give the same speech 7 times, and tell you that he learned something new every time. He was our greatest cheerleader, and I think in a lot of ways he really stood for all the things that the organization Pride stands for.
Doug meant a lot of different things to me, and you know, what he meant to me has kind of evolved over the years, I suppose. Initially, he was kind of a person that, you know, set a good example for me, kind of helped me become informed about the LGBT community and taught me that it was important to be informed about the community.
Doug meant the world to me. He was one of the first people I met at Pride, and one of the first people I met at Eastern, and he immediately built up my self-confidence and my self-esteem. He was the first person to ever call me fabulous, and he was pretty much just all good things embodied. He was someone I could laugh with, someone I could cry with. He was a mentor, a teacher, a best friend, and just someone I always looked up to.
I met Doug at my first Pride meeting about 3.5 years ago. He was the crazy old man that was waving around newspapers and told me about when Pride was founded. I actually walked him out to his car. I noticed that he needed a little assistance walking, and so we got to chatting. And after that, we became really strong allies of each other, and he helped kind of mentor me and talk to me about what it meant to be a leader.
I met Doug at my first Pride meeting my freshman year here at EIU, and he introduced himself as one of the faculty advisors and told us that he majored in being gay, and then handed us newspapers.
I met Doug at a Pride meeting a long time ago, like 2007. He was a faculty advisor for the group, and he brought gay newspapers for everyone. He always had a giant stack of them, and magazines and that sort of thing. I think he would have said, "Oh, this is just fabulous. You guys are just great." He loved everything that we did, and I think it's a real honor for him to have the fair named after him, especially the kind of presenters we've brought the last 2 years since it's been in his name. I think would especially be a tribute to him.
He was the most radical person to have ever existed. He loved all things that pushed the limit, pushed people's ideas, pushed people's just capacities to think. He just loved to make people think outside the box and get a little bit uncomfortable. We'll get a lot uncomfortable.
I think Doug would have really enjoyed having the fair named after him. I mean, of course, he was a very humble person, but I think he would like having his name associated with something as outrageous and courageous as the Sex Positive Fair.
I think he would have just stood there and be like, "Oh, this is so great," and just repeated that about 1,000 times. He loved to call things great, and I think he would have really felt honored to have something named after him when he's been such a big part of this group.
I think that Doug taught me to never be afraid to be as queer as I can be, to not worry what other people think about me, and to know that my skill as an educator can come from my personal experience, and that no one has a right to tell me that I'm not able to teach others or be as flaming as I want to be.
To always be fabulous, and to always be yourself.
Simply put, I think the most important lesson that he taught me was that being gay is a gift. I think he loved the idea of the Sex Positive Fair because it ruffled people's feathers.
Because he liked to make people mad.